Hey there, I'm Maz, and welcome to Maz Show. This is your space to explore big ideas through books, society, knowledge, and history, all with one goal to build a better world and a brighter future. If you are curious, reflective, and ready to grow, you're in the right place. So tap follow, hit subscribe, and let's get thinking.
Imagine discovering that your most trusted colleague, your closest friend, had been lying to you every single day for 30 years. Today, we're diving into the story of Kim Philby, the man who became MI6's head of counterespionage while secretly working for the Soviet Union. We'll explore how one man's betrayal changed the course of the Cold War and left wounds in British intelligence that still haven't healed.
And what makes this story so fascinating is just how perfect Philby was at playing his role. He wasn't just any double agent, he was arguably the most successful spy in history.
Let's start at the beginning. How did a boy born in British India end up becoming Moscow's most valuable asset?
Well, it's actually quite interesting. Philby was born in 1912 in Ambala, Punjab, where his father was a British civil servant. And here's a fascinating detail. He was actually nicknamed Kim after the boy spy in Rudyard Kipling's novel.
Wait, you're telling me he was literally named after a fictional spy?
Yeah, talk about foreshadowing, right? But the real story begins at Cambridge University in the early 1930s. That's where Philby first became drawn to communism.
And this was during a pretty turbulent time in Europe, wasn't it?
Exactly. With fascism on the rise and Western economies struggling through the Depression, many young British students were becoming disillusioned with the status quo. The communist cause seemed like an attractive alternative.
So how did he go from being just another idealistic student to a Soviet spy?
According to recently released documents, it all started with a meeting in London's Regent's Park in 1934. Philby was just 22 when he met his Soviet handler, a man who called himself Otto.
And what happened at this meeting?
Well, Otto, whose real name was Arnold Deutsch, saw something special in Philby. He told him that his upper-class background and family connections could do more for communism than any regular party member.
Ah, so they were playing the long game from the start.
Precisely. And here's where it gets really interesting. Philby's first assignment wasn't to steal secrets. It was to break off all ties with his communist friends and appear completely non-political.
That's actually pretty brilliant. They were setting him up to be the perfect mole.
And it worked spectacularly. By 1940, Philby had secured a position in MI6, Britain's secret intelligence service. By the end of World War II, he'd become a high-ranking member.
But surely someone must have suspected something?
That's what's so remarkable about Philby. He was incredibly skilled at maintaining his cover. He cultivated this image of the perfect British gentleman, charming, well-spoken, impeccable manners.
And I understand he was quite the social butterfly, too?
Oh yes, and that was part of his technique. According to recently uncovered Stasi records, Philby actually bragged about how he would ply MI6 archivists with alcohol to gain access to sensitive files.
Wait, what did he do with these files?
Every evening, he'd leave the office with a briefcase full of documents, hand them to his Soviet contact for photographing, and return them the next morning before anyone noticed they were gone.
That's incredibly brazen.
And it gets even more audacious. In 1949, Philby was appointed as the first secretary to the British Embassy in Washington, serving as the chief liaison between British and American intelligence.
So he was literally at the heart of Western intelligence operations.
Exactly. And he used this position to devastating effect. For instance, he completely sabotaged a major Allied operation in Albania by warning the Soviets in advance. But his most cold-blooded act involved another Soviet officer, didn't it? Yes, the Konstantin Volkov incident. In 1945, Volkov approached the British in Istanbul, offering to reveal the names of Soviet spies in exchange for asylum. One of those names was Kim Philby.
So what did Philby do?
He managed to take control of the case, delayed the British response, and warned his Soviet handlers. Volkov and his wife were kidnapped by the KGB before they could defect. They were never seen again.
That's chilling. And he just wrote it off in his report?
Yeah, he simply stated, the probable explanation is that Volkov betrayed himself. And everyone believed him.
But it couldn't last forever, right? Something must have given him away.
The beginning of the end came in 1951 when two other Soviet spies, Guy Burgess and Donald MacLean, came under suspicion.
Ah, yes, part of what became known as the Cambridge Five.
Right. Philby actually tipped them off, and they fled to Moscow. This naturally cast suspicion on Philby himself.
But incredibly, he managed to survive even that, didn't he?
Yes, he was questioned but never formally charged. In fact, the Foreign Secretary Harold Macmillan publicly exonerated him in 1955.
That must have been quite a relief for him.
Well, it bought him more time, but the suspicions never really went away. By 1963, the evidence against him had become overwhelming.
And that's when he made his dramatic escape to Moscow?
Yes, but not before making one final confession to his close friend Nicholas Elliot, who'd always defended him.
That must have been an incredibly difficult conversation.
Elliot's response was devastating. He told Philby, "I once looked up to you, Kim. My God, how I despise you now."
You know what's fascinating? The psychological toll of maintaining such elaborate deceptions for so long.
Absolutely. And it's worth noting that Philby's life in Moscow wasn't exactly the hero's welcome he might have expected.
No? What happened?
Well, while he was officially honored with the Order of Lenin and given a KGB colonel's pension, he reportedly struggled with alcoholism and depression in his later years.
I guess betrayal takes its toll, even on the betrayer.
You know what's ironic? In his later years, he actually gave lectures to East German Stasi agents about his espionage techniques.
Really? Teaching the next generation of spies?
Yes, and footage from these lectures was only recently discovered in the Stasi archives. He's actually quite proud as he describes his methods.
That's fascinating. What do you think made Philby such a successful spy?
I think a lot of it came down to the British class system, actually. His upper-class background and education made him seem above suspicion.
The perfect cover hiding in plain sight.
Exactly. And he was patient. He didn't just steal documents, he built relationships, gained trust, and played the long game.
And the damage he caused?
It was enormous. He's believed to have been responsible for the deaths of thousands of anti-communist agents whose identities he revealed to Moscow.
That's a heavy burden to carry.
And yet, in his 1968 memoir, My Silent War, he showed remarkably little remorse. He remained committed to the Soviet cause until his death in 1988.
It's amazing how much of this information is only coming out now.
Yes, many of the files were considered so sensitive that they're only being declassified decades later.
So what's Philby's ultimate legacy?
Well, he fundamentally changed how intelligence agencies operates. The idea that someone so trusted could be a traitor led to much stricter security protocols.
And I suppose he showed just how vulnerable human intelligence can be to manipulation.
Exactly. The Philby case proved that sometimes the greatest threats come from within.
You know what's really striking about this whole story?
What's that?
How one person's choices can have such massive ripple effects through history. I mean, we're still dealing with the consequences of Philby's actions today.
And we're still learning new details about those actions, even now.
Kim Philby may have started as a boy named after a fictional spy, but he ended up becoming something far more dangerous. A real one.
And perhaps the most chilling part, there could be other Philbys out there right now, waiting to be discovered.
Show, let's go, open up your mind and grow. Facts and stories, things you never know. Every episode, we light the glow. Step into the world of Mass Show. Turn it up, let the rhythm flow. Feel the beat, take control. Don't be shy, just let it go. This is where the magic grows. Tune in now, it's the Mass Show. Lights up bright and minds will glow. Every day we learn and grow. Come along and join the flow. New ideas begin to shine. Breaking limits, crossing lines. Every moment feels divine. In the world of Mass Show time. Turn it up, let the rhythm flow. Feel the beat, take control. Don't be shy, just let it go. This is where the magic grows. Tune in now, it's the Mass Show. Lights up bright and minds will glow. Every day we learn and grow. Come along and join the flow.